Hey guys, we're back here looking at our 5 noun positions, and tonight what I want us to look at are the 3rd noun position. The first 2 you've learned so far is subject, and then today in class we looked at object of the preposition. So tonight we're going to take a look at direct objects. Again, since it's a noun position, we know that this direct object that we're talking about is a noun. And it's a noun that receives the action of a transitive verb, and transitive is just a term which means action. The thing is, in order to have a direct object, you have to have an action verb. There cannot be a direct object with a linking verb. We'll talk about that 5th job in just a little bit. So just like we had a formula to find our subject and how we found the object of the preposition, we have a formula to find the direct object in a sentence. And your formula is, underline formula. Formula is subject plus a verb plus who or what. The answer to this question is going to give you the direct object. So let's take a look at a few sentences. Alright, so my first sentence is, Jim built his daughter a sandcastle on the beach. And what I want to do here is ask my question. First I found my verb, which is built. Who built? Jim. So now I know my subject and my verb. And I say, Jim built what? Or Jim built who? For this sentence, I know it's going to be Jim built what? And the answer to Jim built what is sandcastle. So sandcastle is my direct object. Sammy and Maria bought Billy some ice cream. My verb is bought. So then to find my subject, I ask, who bought? And the answer is Sammy and Maria. So Sammy and Maria are the subject. Bought is the verb. And now I make my formula to find the direct object. Sammy and Maria bought what? And the answer to this is ice cream. So my direct object is ice cream. And I'm going to label it D-O. Sally didn't have any money, so Nicole bought Sally a sandwich. All right, my first part of my sentence, because this is a compound sentence, we have 2 independent clauses. Sally didn't have any money. In this one, I find did have, and I say Sally did have what? And it's money. So this is the direct object for this clause. And then I come to my second clause. Nicole bought Sally a sandwich. My verb is bought. Who bought? Nicole. So here's my subject. Here's my verb. So my formula again. Nicole bought what? Nicole bought sandwich. That's my direct object. So let's go back and look one more time. The formula, when I want to find a direct object in a sentence, the first thing I need to make sure is that there's an action verb. And my formula is subject plus the verb plus who or what, and that equals the direct object. All right. While we're looking at direct objects, we're going to go ahead and continue with indirect objects. This is our fourth noun position we're going to look at while we're taking a look at the 5 noun positions. So let's review one more time. First noun position was subject. Second was object of the preposition. The third is direct object. And now number 4 is our indirect object. It's someone or something which gets the direct object. You must have a direct object in order to have an indirect object. If there's no direct object, there cannot be an indirect object. My formula: subject plus the verb plus direct object plus to whom, for whom, to what, for what. One of these 4 questions will be answered and give us an indirect object. This looks like a lot, but you'll see when we look at those sentences in a minute, it starts to all come together. Again, no indirect object if I don't have a direct object. It's impossible. So make sure you've got this formula. To find out an indirect object, you have your subject plus the verb plus the direct object plus to whom, for whom, to what, for what. And your answer to this question here that we create in the formula is your indirect object. So let's look at this first sentence again. Jim built his daughter a sandcastle on the beach. My question is going to be, Jim built, sandcastle, because sandcastle is my direct object. And here's where it's for or to whom. So let's look at our question here, or our sentence. Jim built his daughter a sandcastle on the beach. Jim built sandcastle, my direct object, for or to whom? And your answer for the direct object, or indirect object, I'm sorry guys, for the indirect object is daughter. So your indirect object is daughter. All right. Let's take a look at Sammy and Maria bought Billy some ice cream. My question that I create is Sammy, and I'm abbreviating, and Maria bought subject, verb, direct object, ice cream, to or for whom or what we can add. And the answer to that question is Billy. So, my indirect object, I-O, for this sentence is Billy. All right, so we can look at this last sentence more clearly. I'm going to go ahead and erase all of this information so we can look at the sentence formula that we're going to create. Okay, so I have the sentence here, which is a compound sentence, because here's my fanboy, my coordinating conjunction here. I've got Sally didn't have any money. So let's look at the first independent clause. Sally did have, because that's my verb, remember that nt or not is an adverb. Sally did have money, to or for whom or what? Is there a response to that question? Sally didn't have any money. Sally did have money. For whom? For what? Any can't be the response. So there is no indirect object for this first part of our sentence, for the first independent clause. But our second independent clause, Nicole bought Sally a sandwich. Let's see. We've got Nicole, and then we have bought, sandwich is our direct object. And now I add my question, to or for whom or what? Okay, Nicole bought sandwich to or for whom or to or for what? Is there a response when I look at my sister or my sentence? Nicole bought Sally a sandwich. Nicole bought sandwich for whom? Sally is the response. So Sally equals the indirect object. Okay. So, direct object, you must have an action verb, and your direct object receives the action. Your indirect object, in order to have an indirect object, you have to have a direct object. And the indirect object receives or gets what the direct object gives. So that is a little review of direct object, noun position number 3, and indirect object, noun position number 4. We're going to take a look in the next video at our 5th noun position, which is coming up.